everybody, Ruben Dreiblad here, Editor-in-Chief at Favio. It's great to be with you once again. Today I will be talking about one of the subtopics from our larger family of AI topics, and that subtopic today is cybersecurity. So let's jump right in. Now this is applications of cybersecurity within the AI world. So it's mostly about AI's role in cybersecurity and less about cybersecurity itself, just so we're clear on that. So, as you know, our newsletters are crafted from user feedback, so please do let us know what you like, what you don't like, and we'll incorporate that into future editions. Now let's jump into the graph, the top graph with concepts and hashtags that have been big. Hacker culture, machine learning, the Internet of Things isn't on concepts, but it is on hashtags, and that all makes a lot of sense. I mean, connected devices is helping us in a number of ways. I mean, it allows emails to be sent faster, it allows information to be spread faster, it allows everything to essentially happen at a faster rate, but it does pose more vulnerabilities, right? More entry points for malfeasance, for people who are doing wrong. And that's been a theme of AI and cybersecurity. Every great advancement in AI can be used both ways. It accelerates the power that black hatters can harness with so many connected devices, such as that. But then it also cuts the other way. AI is able to surveil and identify malware and viruses across large, complex networks. So we're a little bit torn, right? It's like every great innovation ends up in good hands and in bad hands, and that's just been the theme that we've seen. And when we come down to the articles, there's actually a great quote in this article from Dmitri Alperovitch. We'll assume that's right. So he says AI is going to be extremely beneficial and already is to the field of cybersecurity. It's also going to be beneficial to criminals. So that's kind of exactly what I'm talking about. And, Dmitri is very knowledgeable. He was the co-founder of CrowdStrike, which is a well-known cybersecurity tech company. They focus on endpoint security and threat intelligence, and now he's actually leaving CrowdStrike and he's creating his own non-partisan, non-profit policy accelerator. So make sure to check that out and check out this article from Forbes. Now, Essentials always make sure to get the greatest articles, so Forbes is one of our frequent sources there. Now, hacks are on the rise, as I've said before, and they're seemingly happen all the time. I mean, just a few hours ago, the firm Clearview AI had their entire client list hacked, right? So we really, really, really need to do a better job of protecting ourselves, both on a personal level, but companies more so need to do a better job because they really have more at stake than the average user. So how that will be done, not exactly clear, but it's a big point of discussion for 2020 and for this decade. And protecting yourself leads very nicely into another important aspect, which is the Chinese. Now, you've been hearing a lot about the Chinese with the coronavirus. This is not coronavirus related, but rather related to their intellectual property theft. It's a big, big point of discussion here in the States and globally as well. China has their initiatives to essentially create everything on their own by 2025, and that will involve taking other people's intellectual property for their own, modifying it slightly so that it passes copyright infringement issues. Now, of course, copyrights across countries are complicated too, right? Who owns what becomes very vague. And this is an article talking about that. So let's just take a quick jump in and we'll read a little paragraph from it. But electricity brought America's early 20th century industrial revolution to life. Lee predicts AI will electrify China's next tech boom. To meet Xi's goal, he says China is raising a well-trained army. No, not clad in breastplates and helmets. No, this one's made up of businessmen, software developers, and engineers. And when other opponents strike a low blow, they launch a more damaging counterattack, one that can take the form of copying products or smearing opponents. Other attacks come from China's court, whose cybersecurity laws abet intellectual property hijacking. Unforgiving magistrates will imprison foreign competitors if they don't submit their designs to a one-sided national security review. And we all know how those security reviews will go, right? They're going to side on the side of China because they're all tied together within China. The companies, the government, it's truly an authoritarian state. And one that does not get enough press talked about, I know, of course, it is talked about a fair bit, but it's almost like people feel China's turned over a new leaf with their capitalist plans of the past 10, 20 years. But those capitalist plans are very much influenced and controlled, should I say, by the government. So it's definitely a point to consider if you're working on some groundbreaking product. Maybe keep it a little more underground before it's really ready for a full release, and try to do something about protecting your IP, because it's really at the core of what's valuable with these products, right? In cybersecurity and AI, it's all about the intellectual property, the bright ideas behind it that made it a creation. So that's all for me from now, from Essentials on the AI annual report on cybersecurity. I'll have one final video coming out tomorrow on the AI annual report and our subtopic of research. So check that out, and I'll talk to you soon.